So I'll just go here. It's just short presentation, and then
Yeah.
I'll get into answering the questions too.
Yeah.
So I'll start off. Sorry, I'm just going to click. Okay. And everybody can see everything, no problem?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have different types of programs, and I'll explain later as well, because I'll get into some examples of programs. But we have over 300 active programs right now. Those 300 programs are offered either full-time on campus or full-time online. They're also offered part-time on campus as well as part-time online. So it depends on the program. Not every program is offered online, but there's a good handful of them. It helps sometimes, especially mature learners, to be able to go online part-time. If you have a family, and you need to spend some time with them, having part-time online studies helps. With that being said, sometimes the schedules vary, so it's not the easiest sometimes, but it's one way to help. Now, those programs, we also have degrees. So some of our programs are offered as degrees. It's the same level of accreditation you would receive if you go to university too, but much cheaper in college. And it's the same degree you receive. Now, some of our degree programs are also joint with the universities in Ottawa. I'm going to mention a couple of them later, but we have a number of degree programs that are joint with Carleton or joint with the University of Ottawa. So you'll do half and half. They're 4-year programs, degrees. You'll do about like the 2 years, at Algonquin, 2 years at Carleton, or 2 years at University of Ottawa, or in that 4 years, you go back and forth. Some of the degree programs are also offered with an honors distinction. So some of them are like a bachelor's degree, and some of them are an honors degree. Then we have advanced diplomas. Advanced diplomas are 3-year-long programs. And then we have, that also gives you the opportunity for degree pathways. And I'll explain that in the next slide. Diplomas are 2-year-long programs. Those also provide you the opportunity for a degree pathway. Certificates, they're 1 year long. So those are really nice because you can maybe add on to education you've gotten previously, or maybe learn something new 1 year and have that knowledge and use it in your experience for jobs. Certificates, usually we have some that are general arts and sciences. So 1 year, if let's say you're unsure of what you want to study, the general arts and science certificates are great because it gives you a little bit of everything in a certain area of focus. And then that way you can decide from that point. But we also have 1 year graduate certificates. Now, graduate certificates generally need you as a requirement to take a program in a related field of study to be able to get into a graduate certificate. So let's say you want to go into practical nursing, or sorry, I'm just trying to think real quick. Yeah, practical nursing. What you could do is, or sorry, no. If you take practical nursing, let's say you want to go into medical radiation technology after. Medical radiation technology is another one of those programs. It could be like a graduate certificate. You would need to take like something in that, again, that related field. So, and then to be able to get into the graduate certificate. And I'll explain with some of the other programs I'll mention later. Then there's our apprenticeships. So apprenticeships are usually a little less than 2 years. That is on the job experience as well as in school. I would say it's one of the cheapest ways to do a program, because the only amount you're paying is the time you're in school, which is not a lot. Yeah. And generally apprenticeships you find more in the trades programs. They're wonderful opportunities to be able to get out into the working field and be able to have the experience like that and be licensed by the end of it. So now, is there anything do you want to explain before I go to the next slide, or?
So we maybe can continue, and we will left everything at the last.
Okay, I have one more slide and then I'm gonna answer the questions.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll try and do it quick so we're not waiting. You gave me a a little bit of time, so I'm trying to like follow,
Sure.
So there's the degree pathways. This is the example I use all the time, but this will work for a lot of programs.
Okay.
Let's say you take business administration at Algonquin College. Our business administration program is a 3-year program. And you can either take it, I'm just going to double check because I'm going to talk about it later too. But yeah, you can take it full-time on campus or full-time online or part-time online. With the business administration program, it covers a wide array of business studies. So human resources, administrative, marketing, etc. So 3-year long program, it's an advanced diploma. But let's say you would like to go to university after to get a degree. So instead of doing an additional 4 years in university in a Bachelor of Commerce, because you would have graduated from a 3-year advanced diploma program at Algonquin in business administration, they would allow you to enroll in the last year in university in the Bachelor of Commerce, so that instead of doing 7 years of school, you get it done in 4. And at the end of it, you are not only have college education, but also university education. Again, also much cheaper. And you also have an advanced diploma and a degree. So you, by the end of the 4 years, you have 2 accreditations, which is really nice. And it's not just the business administration program you can do this with. You can do it with almost every program, which is really, really nice. This is something that I like to call like a loophole, because I wish it was more widely known when I even went to school, because this has been helping people a lot. Like if somebody went to, university for a Bachelor of Commerce, they did 4 years, they're paying 4 years of university tuition. Yeah, which is expensive. And especially when you're an international student, that price is like double almost, right?
Yeah, right.
So when you do it this way, it helps because that allows you to pay, college tuition and then 1 year of university tuition or whatever the case is, right? You could go from taking a 2-year diploma program and then doing 2 years in university, half and half. At the end of the day, you're getting 2 accreditations instead of the person who just went to university and just got a degree, right? Yeah. So it's an option to consider. Now, I'll answer the questions that you had. For me, this also, by the way, the website that just popped up, it's called ontransfer.ca. Okay. It's a great way to go on the website, and I will send you information in an email after this is all done that you can pass along to the group. Sure. But on transfer.ca, if you put in a school that you want to start with and the program you'd like to start with, it can show you degree pathways. So let's say you put in Algonquin College Business Administration.
Yep.
one of the results that will come up is the Bachelor of Commerce at Nipissing University. Even
Okay.
that, you won't even have to go to that university. You can study online for that last year as well. There's so many options. It's all a matter of, asking people and getting those questions answered, because it's a lot to learn.
Sure.
So now I'll get into the questions here. So the
Yep.
first question you had sent me is, how can I qualify to be an Algonquin student?
Yep.
So it all depends on the program.
Okay.
But as everyone here are mature learners, you'll be assessed based on program requirements and experience. Every single program requires that you have either a high school diploma or an academic and career entrance certificate, an ACE certificate, a GED, or if you're a mature student without a diploma, your eligibility may be determined by an academic achievement test. So, those English testing, math testing, or one of those testings. In addition to that, every single program requires that you have a grade 12 English, or again, they'll do the testing.
Yeah.
For university level programs like those degrees that are joint with the universities, because those ones that are joint with U Ottawa or Carleton, it actually goes through the university's admissions, not us. So they look at university level requirements.
Yes.
So you'll need your English at a university level, or again, they can do testing. Now, any programs that aren't a degree, a college or university level English or education is fine. Some programs have very specific grade requirements as well. Usually this is all case by case basis. Sometimes they will look at, your experience as well. It depends on the program, and I'll get into that in just a moment too.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would like to ask or explain?
Yeah, so just so far I got two questions. The first one,
you
mentioned that we have a pathway, like if you can go into Algonquin College for 2 or 3 years as a diploma or advanced diploma, and then you have opportunities to take 1 or 2 years and finally get a degree from university. So
That's right.
is there all the university will accept Algonquin College graduate to take additional 1 or 2 years and give them a bachelor degree, or it's only limited, like I know U Ottawa and Carleton University, they will take for sure. But
this will work with any school.
Any of university in Canada?
Yeah. If they allow to do those degree pathways, like the website ontransfer.ca can show you any university that you can attend.
Okay.
But yeah.
And it's the equivalation is like if you take 2 years in Algonquin, 2 years in U Ottawa, is it the same, like exactly same, like who was the students take 4 years in U Ottawa, if they do the same program?
So if let's say they take
The business of
the
commerce.
thing is, in university it's a little different, right? Don't have it set up like we do.
Okay.
So usually, right, it's like the 4 years. So, or you do like a minor and a major, something like that. In college, the Ontario colleges, they're very different because they have the degrees. Like you could go to the University of Ottawa and still get the same degree in the same program. You're just going to end up paying more. Or like in colleges, you are able to take programs at, an advanced diploma or lower thing. Yeah. So in it's different. Like they look at it differently. But if it's the same program, you'll be learning the same things. With college, if if some people, so it depends on how you learn.
Yeah.
Usually with college, it's easier and nicer to learn by
Yeah,
doing.
it's easier to start.
Yeah,
Much
it's a
easier to start.
lot more, it's nice because you're in a smaller classroom too,
Mhm.
and the professors get to know you one-on-one.
Yeah.
In university, it's a lot harder to get time with the professor, to be
Yeah.
able to have questions answered, and you sit in
Right.
your lecture hall. I'm not bashing university, like, my sister went. It's wonderful, but if someone is the type of person that they would prefer to have that one-on-one, more smaller experience and be able to learn better that way, if the same program is offered in university and college, then usually college is a wonderful option.
Yeah.
But yes, like any school would be able to take you as long as you meet the requirements in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and sometimes, yes, it depends. It's like a case by case basis. They may make some exceptions sometimes. It really, really depends. But that's like very specific details.
yeah. But like based on your experience, like let's say two people was looking for a job for same
Mhm,
position. Like
mhm.
one was taking 2 years in Algonquin to take 2 years in and U Ottawa. Another one was taking 4 years in U Ottawa. They both get a bachelor degrees. But do
Mhm.
you think the employer will think there will be difference because that thing like a most realistic because we're looking for like most of people were looking for a job after no
Yeah.
matter what.
So that I understand, to be honest. I know people still have views of universities better than college,
Yeah.
but thing is, in a degree program within college, it's the same thing.
Okay.
So it all depends on the employer and
Hmm.
who they want to hire.
Yeah.
We're never guaranteed a job, right, out
Yeah.
of
I
college or
understand.
university.
Yeah.
But honestly, like, because so there could be employers that will look at, okay, they went to University of Ottawa, they did a 4-year bachelor's degree,
Yeah.
let's hire them because they went to university.
Yeah.
There could be some employers who will look at it and go, wow, this person not only went to college, but they also went to
Uh,
university, they
yeah.
received an advanced diploma and a degree,
Yeah.
we should hire them because they have more education.
Right. Right. It's just from
you know
different angle.
it really depends on the employer.
Yeah.
Yeah, but both
So,
cases
mm,
prepare you properly to be able to hopefully receive a job within your um area of study.
yeah, for sure. For sure. So, just now on the first questions, you mentioned that depends on different program, they have different requirement.
Yeah.
But the most of the people I know, like around me, will be, it's hard to find. They for sure they graduated for grade 12 in some other countries, or
Hmm.
some of them even have the bachelor degrees in China.
That's
But it's
right.
harder for them to find out all the history record and
Yeah.
be certified and being translated. So can I say like most of the program in Algonquin College, they can take a test, like to
Yes.
get the
你不能一直看，今天先去把今天的作业做了，阅读
sorry
这个每天都有，
sorry just
可以去溜吗？
yeah sorry Rita. So the question
That's okay.
is
I was
like
just
a
wondering
most
if someone was asking a question.
yeah so most of them is able to take the test and get take the program.
Yeah, so sometimes, like, usually students, you're able to take a test. If international,
Mhm.
um they will allow you to take a test, and then they will look for like a WES document.
Mhm.
I can't remember what it stands for, but basically it's a overview and a look at the previous education,
Yeah,
previous experience,
like a
so
resume.
that that's one way to be able to potentially get into the programs.
Yeah.
But again, it's all up to the like international department.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think like
No, I don't mean the international. I mean the domestic.
yeah, even for domestic, they do allow them to, take testing if needed.
Yeah, because like
Um,
they may move to Canada for a few years,
yeah,
and if they ask them to go back to China to find out all the scores from high school, it's a little bit hard, and it's also
it
harder
is.
to certify.
Yeah. So in that case too, normally if they're going into a program that doesn't require math, they'll take an English test,
Mhm.
and usually that will help. Or you may need to take like one of those certificate programs to be able to use a prerequisite to move up. Sometimes it's unfortunate,
Mhm.
but they kind of need you to kind of start from the beginning. In some cases, it's
Mhm.
hard. Like my parents, again, their education from Lebanon, and
Mhm.
again, documents
Yeah.
to get a job, a little
Yeah.
hard, but it ended up working out for them. But the process, it's unfortunate. It's a little bit harder,
Yeah.
and sometimes it comes to starting kind of all over again, which is it's again very, very unfortunate. But
Yeah.
the system is how I wish I could do something about it.
Yeah.
But that's how they have it in place. But yeah, sometimes you could be lucky where they could just say, okay, just do this testing
Yeah.
and we can get you into the program.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Okay. So second question, oh, sorry, I don't know if second question. So you were asking me what are the most popular programs, especially for getting a government job, and some examples of those. So I didn't pull like a big list because
Yeah.
it would take forever.
Yeah.
So we have, like I said, over 300 programs.
Yes.
Out of those over 300 programs, a lot of them can give you the experience needed for a government job. Because it all depends what you want to do within the government. I used to work in the government, and I'll explain. I have an example of my situation in a
Mhm.
bit. So there's so many of our programs that will give you the education to be able to get a job with the government. So what I did is I chose a handful of programs in only a few areas of study, and I'll go over those. So I'll start off with the advanced technology.
Okay.
Usually, especially nowadays, any job within technology, very, very big. You have a good chance of getting into a job within technology because it's so wide and so big right now,
Yeah.
and it has been, and it continues to grow.
Yeah.
One of the program options that can be considered, and I only picked like a few.
Yeah.
One of them could be computer programming.
Mm.
Computer programming is a 2-year diploma program. You can either take it full-time on campus, full-time online, or part-time online. So that gives you some options there.
Mm.
This can also be used as a degree pathway if wanted.
Yeah.
And of course, it allows you to be able to work in kind of an IT area, sometimes in a certain division within digital. It really, really depends.
Yeah.
Then you've got, I hold also the Bachelor of Information Technology, work technology, and there's different versions too. I just picked a few
Yes.
because
Yes.
we could be here for hours if I was to go through all of them.
Yes.
So
Yes.
Bachelor of Information Technology, Network Technology, in the name, that's a degree program. It's a 4-year degree. This is full-time on campus. This is connected joint with Carleton University.
Okay.
You go through the Carleton University admissions for this program. You will need the university level courses from high school or whatever the previous experience is to get into the program, and you're doing half and half Algonquin, half at Carleton.
Yeah.
4 years. This is just on campuses. And then there's also web development and internet applications. This one has a co-op and non-co-op version.
Okay.
Co-op allows you to go on the job and get experience on the job. Most co-ops are paid, which is very nice.
Mhm.
And you know, a lot of the time, any learners who take a program with co-op, they have a decent chance, and they've been hired on where they do their co-op, which is very nice. It makes
Yes.
those connections.
Right.
You know, I know a lot of people that started off doing co-op within the government and are now, you know, have been in the government for years
Mhm.
and are, you know, indeterminate, which means, you know, they're like permanent and they've stayed. My fiance, for example, started off as a business analyst and as a co-op student and has worked in the government for years now.
Okay.
So it's an on, and this allows you to work in web development, which is so huge, and then work on those internet applications as, you know, that and web related content.
Okay.
Now, arts and design area, there's the advertising and marketing communications management program. So I actually graduated from that program in 2015. Now, despite me graduating from that 3-year advanced diploma, which is only full-time on campus,
Yeah.
despite me graduating from that program, I actually worked in the government for 2 years. I worked at Industry Canada, or Innovation, Science and Economic Development Canada.
Yeah.
Funny enough, not in advertising or marketing or communications. I worked actually as an executive assistant, and but I worked in the digital services division. So part of what I learned ended up kind of being mixed into what our division dealt with. My executive director general, who I reported to, was very kind enough to also have me work with the UX team. So UX designers, like user experience for web, work with project coordinators or project management, and be able to do some advertising and marketing work while also being his executive assistant. So sometimes you can mix, you know, your educational and life experience and be able to do that. So I had a 1-year contract there. And then I moved on to a 1-year contract at Global Affairs Canada. I worked in the comms, so the communications division. Again, I was an executive assistant. However, the nature of the work we dealt with, again, was with the social media, public relations, those related areas of study that, again, allow for growth. So there's an option there, right, to take experience, educational plus world experience, and be able to get a job in those areas.
Yeah.
Next, in arts and design, I also brought up the Bachelor of Digital Marketing Communication. This is an honors degree that also has a co-op.
Yeah.
This is offered just at Algonquin, so it's an honors degree just at Algonquin. Again, 4 years full-time on campus. This is also a pathway for the business administration or public relations. So business administration, I said, right, is 3 years. Public relations is a 2-year program. So you can always either take those and then move on to a Bachelor of Digital Marketing Communication and have a complete, like, wide array of education. So
nice.
with the digital marketing communication, you know, this will allow for, again, those comms related jobs, as well as anything within the social media or what was I going to say? Like
Like related
pamphlets,
to
anything
the
like that.
new
Yeah,
technology.
like educational purposes.
Mm.
You know, we see a lot of those Government of Canada advertisements, those are part of it, or even web-based.
Yeah.
I also pulled the interactive media design program. This one also has a co-op and non-co-op version. This one is a 2-year diploma program, and you take it full-time on campus. This allows you to work, let's say, as a UX designer, so user experience designer, as an example. There's more examples, but I just kind of quickly pulled information.
Yeah, I
I
understand.
mentioned public relations, so that's another good one, you know, to be able to consider.
Yeah.
There's also the technical program, and this was also mentioned as a good program to take to be able to get a job within the government. This one has a co-op and non-co-op version, but this one is a graduate certificate. So it's a 1-year full-time on campus or full-time online or part-time online.
Okay.
So something like, again, you would have to take a related program, maybe public relations or something related to it. You can always talk to the program coordinator to see what they would suggest. And then be able to get into the graduate certificate. Or you could get very, very lucky after talking to the program coordinator, and they can say, you know what, based on your real life experience or based on your previous educational experience, we will allow you to take the 1-year graduate certificate without having to take a program as a prerequisite.
Okay, it's nice.
Yeah, sometimes they allow you to go into it, but it really, really depends.
Yeah, I understand.
Does that make sense so far?
Yeah. So I think like most of them you mentioned is related to the like either IT industrial or like something like a kind of like because of the development of the technology. Like
Yes.
now the sales or the advertisement was a little bit like change a lot compared to like 10 years ago.
Yes,
So
exactly. Yeah.
those industrial kind of need a lot of people to join like for the next maybe 5 to 10 years. So that's also not only to the government job, but also we have some like a big technology park in Canada, north of Canada.
That's what I was gonna
So
say.
that's
Yeah,
a
exactly.
big like opportunities.
Yeah, lots. I was gonna mention, I'm in Canada. So yeah, it's very, very big. That's part of it, but there's more, you know, options to consider. Even then, when I was with the digital services division, you know, machine learning, AI, it's grown so much since then. And it's going to continue to grow. Now, of course, I already mentioned, but business, area of business, business administration, like I said, is a great idea as well, because it covers lots of areas, like I said, administrative, human resources, right? Marketing, supply chain management. It goes on and covers a wide area of study. So like I said, it's a 3-year advanced diploma, full-time on campus, or you can take it full-time online or part-time online. There's also project management, which is wonderful, and I had mentioned it earlier. So they offer it with a co-op or non-co-op version. Project management is a graduate certificate. So again, that's that 1-year grad certificate. You could either take it full-time on campus. You will need the prior experience, something like the you could also consider the project management studies, which is just a regular certificate, not graduate certificate. That is a part-time online program that can be considered. You can, again, consider something in, like, let's say, take business first and then go focus in on project management. Project managers, especially in the government, very, very big. You know, they need them for almost every area, right? So it's a good option.
I think that's a program is kind of like a base program. Like you have so many possibilities after you take that program. You can do a lot
100%.
of
And that's why it's a graduate
position.
certificate. because it's that 1 year, that additional boost. You can focus in more project management, and take that way. You know, it's almost like taking a master's after
Yeah.
your education. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then in the environmental area, there's our regulatory affairs sciences, co-op and non-co-op. So with that, you know, again, every government department requires that we have our regulatory affairs folks, not just in the environmental sector, but also everywhere, to be honest.
Right.
This is a graduate certificate that is full-time on campus. That's that 1 year. But again, based on experience, maybe the program coordinator will allow you to take the graduate certificate without having to take a program as a requirement, like as a prerequisite beforehand.
Yeah, I understand.
So I would suggest too, and let me actually open this up here. I'm going to pause sharing my screen for a sec, and I am going to share a different screen here. Oh, hold on a second, because I'll show you an example of, you know, of what that will kind of look like for some cases. One moment here. Is it okay? I'll open this one for now. And then share my screen. Is it this one? Yes. Okay. Let me move this out of the way and share. So you see my screen currently? Okay. So every single program is set up like this. Every single program page is set up like this. So I went into the regulatory affairs sciences co-op and non-co-op version. And looking at it on a computer or a laptop, the easiest way to do it. When you go down, you know, they have a quick few points.
Did they show a new screen to us, or it's still the same one? Because
sorry?
what I only saw is still the question page.
Okay.
Did they show
sorry. Let's try this again here.
Yeah.
We're looking at the program page now?
Yeah. Now I see it.
Okay, perfect. Sorry. I thought I clicked on it properly. So every single, like I said, program page is set up like this.
Okay.
So they give you a few points to start, and then they show you the program summary. So it gives you an Ontario College graduate certificate, 1 year.
Yeah.
You can look at the program delivery information. So it'll show you, you know, how it's offered. So we'll check here. So here it is offered in Ottawa, but it's also offered at our Pembroke campus. We have more than one campus.
Yeah.
It's also offered full-time online and part-time online. Gives you a quick little overview here. It will also show here, so it's like the project management and communication skills, frameworks that govern processes and products. This is wonderful for, you know, like government area. And it says
looks like it's a special design for the government, because
in a way, essentially, yeah. Because it even mentions, right, graduates of this program have a strong understanding of regulation generally, but develop the details, right? So public worker, and then it also shows different areas that they could potentially find work in. Success factors, that's another thing. You can, so when you look at the left side, there's the tabs. So here's the admission requirements. So they say either you'll need your diploma or degree or equivalent in, so you'll need an advanced diploma, right? Because this is a graduate certificate.
Yeah.
Here, you know, like for the international, and then this testing as well, they mention that. And, you know, we apply through ontariocolleges.ca, lots of information. There's also the courses. So because it's only 1 year, you know, it shows you semester 1, what you'll be learning, semester 2 in the co-op. Learning outcomes are what you will be able to take from the program. So, you know, I'm seeing here, right, relate the roles and responsibilities, you know, and government careers and pathways. That's a good one to look into. So, right, it says here that entry level employment in the regulatory affairs sector, right? So here it says both the public and private sectors. Like I mentioned at the beginning, a lot of these programs can provide you with the proper education for a job really anywhere. But they do help with securing a role based on, you know, education within the public sector. So that's a good way to look at the programs and what kind of a job you can get if you go into the careers and pathways tab. Then there's the tuition and fees estimator, additional information, what you'll need to know. And then there's always the contact. So you'll find the program coordinator contact right there. Yeah, and you can always talk to them. Every single page, like I said, any program that you click on, you will be able to find all of this information. But of course, I'm always here to help answer questions too. I'll show you. So when you go in on the main page, I like to scroll down a little bit and I go to the programs in an alphabetical order, or you can consider areas of interest. And then you can take a look at it this way, where, oh, sorry, it's taking a moment, where you can see the difference. So in advanced technology, in, you know, the public safety and legal state, whatever it is. You can also filter here whether you want to take it online.
Online or on campus.
So right now we're in the advanced technology. I filtered all of the online programs, and there's, you know, a decent amount to choose from. And it like breaks it down here. You see, so we saw advanced technology, business. It breaks it down really, really well. So it's a good way to be able to, and I'll stop
look
sharing
at the whole website. They can find a lot of information there.
Yes, exactly. And I'll send links too, but really, like, whatever anyone wants to do, it's a great way to look through and gain an understanding of what the program offers. So then I'll get into your next question. Are you
about the money?
Yes, exactly. Because it's expensive. It can definitely be expensive.
Even it's already cheaper than the university, but it's still a big cost.
I know. So are we looking at the questions now?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I had OSAP, you know, like there's no shame in having OSAP. Life is incredibly
easier,
expensive. So, you know, like it gets to be quite difficult sometimes. So with OSAP, I'm just gonna bring this down. So you can qualify for OSAP only if you are a Canadian citizen, a permanent resident, or a protected person. You will also, so when you apply, you need to be, like I said, Canadian citizen, permanent resident, or protected person. If you're in the process of getting your PR, you will be seen as an international student. You won't qualify. But once you do receive your PR, and let's say you're 2 years into the program and there's 2 more years, then they can switch you to domestic, and your tuition cost will be brought down. So as far as OSAP goes, you will need to meet the academic process requirements. If, let's say, you have enough financial resources, you won't qualify for OSAP, right? They don't give the loan when you already make enough. If, let's say, you report more income on your OSAP application, and it's more than you reported to the CRA, they won't give you the loan. If let's say you have defaulted on student loans before, they won't give you the loan.
Yeah.
If you've failed a credit check, they won't give you the loan.
Yeah.
If you have a grant or bursary overpayments or multiple like outstanding loan overpayments, again, you won't be able to qualify. But I can send you a link again at the end so that it's a lot easier to understand. OSAP is another one of those things that I suggest applying to sooner than later because the process takes so long. The only annoying part about OSAP, though, for anyone who starts at a regular time, September, start in school. And we tell people, okay, apply anywhere from October to before February 1st. OSAP doesn't open their applications until I want to say it's like May or June. It's a little bit later, which is frustrating, but it's because, you need to be able to have those academic requirements and then they'll take you through the process. I unfortunately was a little late in my first semester. And so I unfortunately paid out of pocket for my first semester, but after that, the OSAP went through and I was able to use it, from second semester until my last year. It was a 3-year program. So
do you know like OSAP require like how long you live in Ontario? They must live in like a 1 year or more, then you can apply for the OSAP. Or
I would talk to the OSAP people because I personally feel like that would be okay, but I'm not sure. So I would definitely talk to them just in case. Because their process is just it's a lot.
Yeah, I understand.
So I would definitely talk to them and get more details because I wouldn't know for sure.
Okay.
That being said, there are other options to consider, especially so someone, let's say, you mentioned, and one of your folks reached out to me about the nursing program. The government has introduced and extended this year the Learn and Stay grant. So it is a grant where they say if you apply to this program, like a nursing or bachelor's of science in nursing, if you apply to the program, you stay in the program and you graduate from the program, we will cover your tuition costs.
Oh, really?
Right? Because we need more, we need more nurses.
Yes.
And so that's one way the government has kind of enticed people to take those programs and be able to, get more nurses out of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's opportunities like that. So there's that Learn and Stay grant. I don't know how long they're going to keep this going.
Okay.
But we're lucky enough that they extended it this year.
Okay.
There's also a grant, and I can't remember what it's called, but any women in STEM, so the sciences, anything like that, there's a grant for that as well.
Oh, okay.
Bursaries, there's so many to choose from. I will send you links to them.
Sure.
Sometimes all it takes is a little application, sometimes an essay. And it's a great way to just receive that free money, right? And use it to be able to pay. There's some that I qualified for. There was one while I was in school that I qualified for every year. Because again, the income wasn't enough. So I had OSAP, but I also received that bursary, which, was nice to use towards books or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, anytime I can help people like find like free money or just any type of, I will mention it, because if school was free or way cheaper than it is, I would be a lifetime learner.
Yeah,
I would be in school my whole life learning everything.
Right.
So yeah, a little confusing, but for OSAP, there's a lot of factors that don't qualify you. But if you feel, if you're not making enough and you're either a Canadian citizen, permanent resident, or protected person, that's a way that you can qualify, but I will send you the link for extra information.
Yeah, and also you mentioned that all those grant, like learn and
Absolutely. Yeah,
stay, those will be very useful for the
yeah, there's a few bursary websites that I share with people that I'll send to you too.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
Yeah. So then, we already went over this, but I can also go over it again. So, are most of the classes online or in person?
Yeah.
So most of the classes actually are offered in person, full-time on campus. Like basically every single program is offered that way.
Yeah.
But as we saw, some of them do offer it online, full-time or part-time.
Yeah.
It really depends on the program. And like I showed, it's a great way if you just filter through the online programs. If you just want to take it online, filter it out, and that is the easiest way to see what programs are available online.
For sure.
And public transit. So you guys had asked, how can I take public transit if I live in the West End or the South End? So I actually used to live in the South End, and I made the move out to the West End 2 years ago. So I can kind of talk to both sides, but also it depends because the busing routes have changed, and
after the RRT launch, the bus will change a lot.
Yeah, and it's still growing, thankfully. I don't know what that looks like, but cross our fingers.
Yeah.
So we have Baseline Station on campus. So if anyone's ever gone near or around Algonquin College's campus, there's a large bridge that goes over Woodruff. And there's one of our buildings, it's called our Algonquin Center for Construction Excellence. From that building is Baseline Station. So very, very easy to get to and from the campus. For the West End, so generally I would say 1 to 3 buses depending on where you live. And sometimes you can do like 1 bus and the train. It depends.
Yeah.
For the West End, I gather that, let's say if you take the 88, just 1 bus, that should be able to take you to Castle Frank area. Or was it? Yeah, Castle Frank. Or you would take the 74 and then the 62. It all depends, like I said, where you live.
Yeah, it's harder to explain all
and I can send you the link to the OC Transpo travel planner. If you put in your address and then Baseline Station, it can show you the perfect route and where to take the bus, which route number, and what to take. For the South End, kind of like Riverside South area I looked at because I used to be there. It's the 74 and the 99 now, or the 75 and 99. At some points during the day, the numbers of the routes change.
The time of the day with difference.
Our transit system is not my favorite. When I started at Algonquin in my first year and then into this first half of the second year, it used to take me an hour and a half to get from Riverside South to the campus, and then an hour and a half from the campus to home. So 3 hours, sometimes more during the winters, is a lot out of the day.
Right.
And then when they built the bridge that connected Riverside South and Barhaven, it took me anywhere from 22 minutes to half an hour to get to campus. Thank God. So and there's option again to take the LRT up to a certain point and then the bus. So I would always suggest looking at the OC Transpo travel planner just to find the best possible outcome.
Yeah, and one of things I feel more nicer is because I think like all the building in Algonquin College was connected by something, like either by bridge or by, like you can walk even in the wintertime or in the raining day, like you don't have to like walking outside. You can from one side to another side.
Exactly. And it's also safer, thank God, because we have our sky bridges. We don't have underground tunnels. it's much safer, and we always have security, thank God. But yeah, like for the most part, unless you're parking your car, but what I always do when it's cold or the weather is really bad, I will park my car in the parking lot and I go into one of the buildings and I just walk all the way through the campus, like you said, to my office. So it's nice, it's easy, and keeps me warm.
Yeah, that's great.
For the parking situation, so it depends on the lot and the cost. I will send you a breakdown again also of the costs and the lots and the map of where those are offered. So I currently have a pass. For most people, you will look at lots 8 and 9. So that is behind the Student Commons building. Pretty much everybody parks there. There's some that you pay, so I can't remember how much I paid, but I did it for the annual, so 1 year. So you can get like a 10-pack. You can sometimes, if you're just coming in like one day, you could park in one of the paid lots. Some of them the maximum is 12 hours for the day, some of them the maximum is $18 for the day. Parking is quite expensive, so lot 9 is cheaper than lot 8. It's further from the Student Commons building, but still, like, certain points throughout the year, there's less students, during the winter times or whatever, right, during those breaks. So it's nice, you can park closer sometimes, but it really depends, and I will send you the breakdown of the costs.
Sure, thanks.
Yeah, it's quite expensive, I will say, unfortunately.
Life
Like
is
even
not easy.
then, in 2012 to 2015, I thought it was expensive then, and now we're in 2024. So yeah. And then so as far as the salary range for a graduate student, of course it's depend, right? I can't really say what that looks like. I mean, I did put a number there, but again, like it's it will all depend. So a lot of learners, a lot of graduates will see entry-level salaries. But that also depends, right? Because everyone here are mature learners, or will be anyway, that they have previous experience, they have previous education. So you may be lucky to find a higher entry salary. I said, and again, what I'm saying like probably isn't right, but I said, 40,000 and up. When I started within the government and it wasn't really related to what I had studied, as an executive assistant, I went in as an AS2 level, because the government has those, acronyms.
Different levels.
I started at about like 60,000 and worked my way up a little bit from there. So it's nowadays that looks terrible. But then it wasn't too bad. So again, it all depends on the experience, it all depends on the education. A lot of you might start off at a higher salary than someone who is probably, how old would they be, maybe like 21 when they're graduating, and starting off at a lower end salary. It really depends. So I can't really say for sure, but that's what I gathered.
I can understand. It depends on like a different people, different program, different experience. But I would say, as I know, like even for the entry level position, most of them can get around like a 60,000 in a year.
Probably, to be honest, like especially in the government. Yeah.
Even for the first year, and after a few years, you may get a level 2, which is
that's right,
like 80 to 90,000.
I was gonna say the 80, you work your way up pretty quickly depending on how that looks. So and again, though, nowadays it's like so that's it for me. I'll stop my sharing of my screen, and then anything you want to go over or ask, and
we got one more questions. Is like do you have any recommendation about any accounting or financing program?
Oh
Like
yeah, I just see that
from
now.
okay.
That provides a co-op. Yeah, so business administration is another one of them, or business accounting is the focus you could take. It's offered. I know that it is offered online. I'll double check here.
Mm.
Let me just pull this here. And so in business, yeah, the business accounting program is offered full-time online and part-time online. And you receive a diploma.
Yeah.
And we don't have like a finance program, but what could be considered is business accounting 2 years or however long it is. Usually it's 2 years for a diploma, and then go to, let's say, the University of Ottawa for finance. My sister actually, she went to the University of Ottawa, and she started off in accounting and then switched to finance, and she's been working in the finance division, not in government. She's at the with a Crown Corporation at Export Development Canada.
It's
So
similar.
that's an
similar.
option.
So
But I would say yes, it does have a high employment rate. Yeah. Yeah. And does it provide co-op? Oh, right. That's a good question. So when you're taking it online, generally, no, it does not offer a co-op. I'm just going to double check. So no co-op for the online offering of the program. However, if you take it, if you take the business administration, which covers accounting, let me go back here on my page. I believe they offer a co-op with it, but I'm just going to double check just in case.
I think this depends on the direction. Like I know the business or commerce, like you can go to HR, you can go to accounting, and you can go to like even like some management.
Yes, yes,
program.
that's right. So the business accounting on campus, it does not offer a co-op. However, you could always decide to take the business administration. It will focus on accounting for a little bit, but it will also focus on other areas of business like marketing and HR and all that. So
if
completely up to the individual.
After like what do you want to learn? And if they have the language test is like a CLB level 8. Does
Sorry?
this if they have a CLB 8, I mean the language level.
Oh, okay. Ooh, I wouldn't really know anything about that, to be honest.
Because like when I check the page, it usually said either you have the test result for ICE, or like you maybe take a test in the test center, but they didn't mention about the CLB level. Like I moved from PI, so when I was there, all the language was that defined by like a CLB 1 to 8. Like they offer the training on language, but only level 1 to 8. So it's not something we can use as a application in Algonquin College so far, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't know, to be honest. I would definitely talk to the admissions offices to see if that is something that you are able to use. I've never heard of that, so I'm not quite sure, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah. No, my apologies. I don't know. I've never heard of that.
I think either they can take a test. That will be the easiest way.
Yeah,
Like
but sometimes they may not have to, right? It all depends on the case, their case. So
I will ask more details and maybe send you an email later, and maybe you can check with the administration.
Yeah, 100%. I will pull together an email for you,
Mhm.
and send you all the information that we spoke about.
Yeah.
If there's anything you're like, oh, like this is missing, or I'd like, information about this, let me know. I'll
Okay.
send it to you.
Sure.
I'll actually let me share my screen one more time. I can leave my contact information up for everyone so that you have it for future reference, and that way, you don't always have to be the one to reach out to me.
Oh, sure.
But I don't mind too, whichever way.
Yeah.
I'm there to help, so whenever.
Okay.
So I'll just bring this up here and I will share. Is that working, I guess?
Yeah, we can sell that, no problem.
Slide. So I'll do that.
Yeah.
So email, call, or text, doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'm available during working hours, and sometimes after. I don't mind, talking to whoever whenever it is.
Yeah.
If it works for you that it's, later in the evening, then yeah, we can do that.
Okay, sure. I think the email will be the most easiest way to communicate. But if
Sure.
we have something on the rush, maybe we can text you or call you.
Absolutely. I'm available most of the time, and
Mhm.
if I don't get to you in that moment, I'm gonna get to you as soon
Yeah.
as I can.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rita.
Anytime. Thank you
So-
so much for having me, Chris. And again, if anybody ever has any questions, I'm available.
Mhm.
Hopefully I was able to, answer the questions and give you all the right amount of information that you need. And we can always cover this later on too, if need be.
Sure, no problem. And we will keep in touch by email or by phone.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, hopefully you have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too. And to everybody as well.
Yeah.